And either when someone's term ends, you either reappoint them or you appoint someone else.
Quickly.
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly. That's critical. That's critical. You know, we think about another big topic is how do lay people just communicate with attorneys without necessarily having to hire. I mean, just some basic things. If viewers have questions about a pending case, for instance, before a magistrate or another judge, what are some resources that either the bar offers? Obviously here, your role as the president of the South Carolina Bar, a lot going on, and there are a number of things we want to get into. But what are some of the resources? I think I saw an 800 number, the 800-868-2284. Is that probably the best number for someone to call for a referral service?
That is. The bar does operate a lawyer referral service. That call goes to our bar staff, and you tell them what area of the law your question is in and geographically where you're located. We have bar members that voluntarily join this service, right, and they will have an initial consultation with a client for no more than $50.
I saw that, yeah.
Right, and so if someone's having difficulty finding a lawyer or just doesn't know what lawyer to choose for a particular need, that's a great resource for them. We also have the Ask a Lawyer, sort of a phone-in where someone takes the incoming call, determines what area of the law your question pertains to, right, and sends you to a lawyer that's volunteering to be there that afternoon or that evening, and they will answer those questions for you. We also, across the state, have law school for non-lawyers.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear about that.
You don't get a diploma at the end of it, unfortunately. But we do. We've had a good turnout from the public for that. We'll have attorneys that work primarily in several different areas. Usually bankruptcy and family law are two of the more popular topics that we discuss. Generally, the lawyer will speak for 30 or 40 minutes trying to give the basic information, right, and then take questions from the audience and answer those for them. Another resource that the bar has is the Client Assistance Program.
Oh, good, yeah.
Which if you have a lawyer handling a matter for you and you have a bit of a problem, it doesn't rise to the level of an ethical violation, but you sort of need somebody to step in and mediate. Right. They can actually reach the bar, and we have staff people that will help them work through those problems.
I saw the bar also give some advice for pro se divorce if folks are in that position. And
they have put together some information to help people. It's always a tough issue because you see some people that represent themselves that because they feel like they cannot afford an attorney, but then they end up getting a result that they really couldn't have afforded not to have an attorney represent them.
Sure.
But there certainly are cases where there's not issues of custody, where there's very minimal or no assets, there's no retirement funds at issue.
Right.
And with those people coming to the courtroom and they don't know what to say or do,
right,
then it's just wasting court time and their efforts.
Oh, I bet, sure.
So we have tried to put together the package to help them in that circumstance.
Right. I saw there's also a fee disputes board. Not that that ever comes up, but if there is a group there to help mediate that or help work that through.
That's correct. If a lawyer, we're required to have a written fee agreement.
Right.
And so generally, hopefully the lawyer and the client knows from the very beginning what the fee arrangement will be.
Sure.
But occasionally, because things develop during the case,
right,
or circumstances change, they get to the end of the case and either the client feels like the fee was too much or the lawyer feels like the fee was too little. And so this is a body that will mediate that and allow them to resolve it in a way that everybody can accept.
I was excited to see that next month, September 17th, we've got the Ask a Lawyer that I believe you said will be both here in Myrtle on the Strand as well in the PD that same day.
That's correct. We will do that at two locations on that day,
right,
where you phone in and have
sure,
your questions answered. Those are done across the state,
right,
not necessarily all on the same day, but
sure,
at various times, and are usually advertised in the local papers such as the Herald.
Great, sure, of course. All area papers, and I'm sure papers in the PD. It's good to get the word out,
right,
and particularly for a free service like that on a particular day. That's wonderful. You know, we think about a lot of topics. Strengthening judicial independence has been a big one, clearly, for the South Carolina Bar recently. What are some other? We got about 5 minutes, Flo. Are there any other big topics that you all are dealing with or that you expect to encounter today, tonight, when you get to New York for the American Bar Association meeting? Anything on a national level that you've been hearing a lot about that South Carolina, that our viewers would want to know about?
But one thing that is sort of one of my initiatives as bar president is we have a committee that's called Lawyers Helping Lawyers, that for members in our profession that have substance abuse issues or emotional problems, psychological problems. The studies are a little bit unclear, but basically it appears that those type problems occur at least twice the rate within the legal profession as within just the general population. So we have that service, which of course is more within our practice. We have also sadly had some suicides over the past few years. So we're going to try to do a better job of making sure that all of our lawyers are healthy and well equipped to take care of the people that they're serving. An area that is one that raises a lot of questions sort of comes about with the crossover, how it's sort of blending into an accounting firm and a law firm, and who can do what duties and roles, and certainly with technology and the global economy and business world, that's becoming a little bit tricky of waters to navigate.
Does the South Carolina Bar ever take a stand on issues like the clogging up the courts or the courts being slowed down, or whether the strengths of mediation or arbitration, the pros of those, or is that more topics for someone else to get into?
We do like to take positions on matters that we can, because we represent mandatorily the entire bar. So a lot of issues, as you might guess, that one side of the bar has one view and the other side another. So we certainly don't want to take sides within our own body. But general things like appointing judges in a timely fashion, protecting the independence of the judiciary, recognizing the importance of the rule of law, things that all lawyers can agree on. We will take a position on those and literally adopt a resolution and send it sometimes to the media, sometimes to the legislature.
Right. That's great, Flo. We think about you growing up in Florence, right there in the heart of the PD, attending school in Charleston, finishing law school there in Columbia, and then doing your clerkship there in Columbia, but being back and forth a little bit to the PD. What was it about Florence in particular that really pulled you back? What was it that made you want to be back where you grew up?
I think certainly my family, my mother still lives in Florence, as my husband's parents are there as well. And I like the sort of small town. I think people in general, and lawyers are no exception, tend to be more friendly, more civil to one another when you know that you're going to see them at your child's Little League ball game that night, or your mother and their mother are going to be sitting on the same pew together the next Sunday. I had a friend who had a judicial clerkship in Florence for a while and then relocated to Columbia, and she came back on business one day and we went to lunch together at a local lunch spot, and half the people that walked in would say, "Hey, Flo," and I'd say, and she said, "I've just forgotten what a cozy small town atmosphere this is."
Yeah, absolutely. When you think about just that, those atmospheres that are that special, and even sometimes in a big city you can find something, but nothing like in a community with a tight bar or a tight group of a knit community like Florence, which is one you shared with us a little bit off camera early this morning, or maybe it was yesterday morning, about when we were thinking about childhood heroes and someone that really motivated you. Is special hearing that. If you don't mind sharing with viewers, who was really your childhood hero?
Right. Yeah, we discussed that. My father would be definitely my childhood hero. He had a great love of education. He stressed taking advantage of that opportunity, and because he graduated from high school during the Depression, he was denied that chance to do it, and had wanted it so badly and valued it so highly that he just implicitly instilled that in myself and my four brothers. Right.
That's great. Great sharing. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, sir. We've run out of time. Absolutely. Stay tuned to a little more Carolina People with the president of the South Carolina Bar, Flo Vinson, coming up next. 13,000 practicing attorneys statewide. One of them has to go out and represent them. One of them has to represent them on community affairs shows, travel in the state, speaking on issues like strengthening judicial independence in South Carolina. One of them has to represent them flying to New York City this afternoon to be up there for the American Bar Association meeting. That person's Flo Vinson. She's out there every day representing the South Carolina Bar and all of its members and all citizens throughout the state who have a real interest in the bar and the judiciary. And if you're interested in trying to find a good attorney in your area, the South Carolina Bar steps out and has a great referral service, 800-868-2284. They've also got a great-looking website, scbar.org, scbar.org. Check them out online and learn a little more about Flo Vinson. Flo, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
The pleasure's all mine. Thanks, Ray.
Yes.